Welcome to my intuitive and interpretive reading of the general energies that will be with us from the new moon on May 30th, 2022 until the full moon on June 14th of 2022. This is for entertainment purposes only. Any resulting enlightenment is purely coincidental and unintentional. The elements that have volunteered for this reading include the home card from the Wisdom of the Cailleach deck, the Three of Arrows, Jealousy, from the Wildwood Tarot, and we have Heather as our Celtic tree ogham. Lately it seems that the ogham has been setting the tone or the base subject of these readings that I do, so I'm going to start there with Heather. This wood has been considered a gateway between the inner world and the outer world, a connection between heart and mind and thought and action. Heather also brings a very healing energy, especially to our thoughts and to our mental state, so that we then may act appropriately and in a very mindful and I would say compassionate manner. I find it to be a very harmonizing energy, and it does very much remind me of a happy home environment. Because home is to be a sanctuary and a place of rest and trust. And yes, healing. In fact, I keep a piece of heather at my front door as a charm to bring its energy into my home and make it a good place to be, a place where people like to be, a place where we can share. The flower essence of heather is often used for people who are so caught up in themselves that they just completely ignore others or are unaware of how they are affecting other people. So with the influence of heather, there's a generosity of spirit and a generosity of action. Because we are healed inside, we can be healers to the outside world. Now, with the home card, that's telling me that where this healing needs to focus is on our home, with the people that we feel the closest to. We start there. From there, it can emanate out into the rest of the world. And what is it that needs to heal so that our actions and our relationships with other people can be better, can be safer and happier? Well, it's jealousy, envy, resentment, negative energies that we may be harboring that keep us from, well, being happy, I would say, from living comfortably within our own hearts and minds. Last time in my reading, it was suggested that we take a look at our relationships and find out where they were out of balance, clear out things that keep us off balance. Well, now it's time to look at the role that jealousy, envy, resentment may play in our relationships. And how do we heal jealousy, envy, resentment? By forgiving and accepting. there will always be people who seem to have things better than us, and there will always be people who seem to have things worse than us. This is a lesson in the fact that life isn't fair. Now, I believe that we all experience what we need for our soul's personal growth. We all have our own challenges. And I would say from that, it doesn't make sense to be envious of anyone else. But we're human, and so we are. Sometimes people, no, I would say all the time, people have no control over the circumstances into which they're born. And that goes for people who are born with more wealth, more position, more advantages than we ourselves have, and for people with less wealth and other advantages. Once we accept that fact, then we don't let negativity block us from enjoying our lives and moving forward. And suddenly I'm thinking of the very Buddhist saying that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Yeah, I think that applies here. So let's take a look at what part envy and resentment play in our relationships with our loved ones and those we're closest to, and see if we can resolve our feelings. It's easy to say, let go. It's easy to say, forgive. I know it's not always easy to do. But it is the logical thing to do. I know. I'm very mental. I like things to make sense. But if you have that same bent, then you can understand why it doesn't make sense to harbor resentment. And sometimes nothing will be resolved. But it might be time to have a talk with someone that either you are envious of or you feel they envy you. See what part you are playing in that dynamic. And let's move past it. That's the best for you as an individual, for you in relationship with another person, for your community, for your town, for your state, for your world. But we need to start at home. Once the healing energy of Heather has been admitted, and we have accepted and forgiven so that we now act from clear and loving thoughts and feelings, then that same sense of healing and resolution can spread from our home, from our physical home or house to our neighborhood, to our workplace, and out into the wider community and the world. So during this next moon cycle, let's focus on getting rid of the jealousy and envy and resentment so that this entire world can be a happy home for everybody. And perhaps it would inspire those who have advantage to help those who are disadvantaged. That's the way we'll heal. We'll heal this bleeding, wounded heart. We can do it. We can. Well, resentment is the last thing I feel toward all my wonderful viewers. Please like, subscribe, share. If you would like a personal reading from me, please email me. That info is available on my channel information. Thank you so much. That Heather energy is just beautiful. All right, I will see you in June at the full moon. Bye-bye.